Gentlemen,
welcome to Lydden Hill in Kent, the first foray into the UK for this European late model series as they take to a road circuit, although it is an oval. It's going to be really interesting because the new set of challenges that these drivers and teams have got to cope with, challenges in terms of setup, challenges in terms of driver preparation, and challenges of how they get on with this circuit. All that to come. And in the recent weeks, as we've lost a megastar from the pop industry, we know that we're looking forward to a thriller. And away we go then. Heat 1, 25 laps with the former AS cars once again right at the front of the grid.
Gentlemen.
And our race director there, Roland van der Meersch, on this formation lap, make sure each and every car is in exactly the right position. We get the greens from Roland and we are away and racing. So Colin White in car number 78 makes his first foray into this European late model series. 88 right at the front it is, that's Keith Wally in the all red car. And Colin White already through into second position. He's following Keith Wally down the downhill section into the left-hander. Now there's a very challenging circuit for all the drivers out here as they turn into the what is effectively turn one. It goes downhill a little bit, can't see the end of that bend. They're taking it blind, and look at this, Colin White taking a wide outside line and all the way around the outside of Keith Wally. Hugely experienced Colin White, National Hot Rod World Champion, Ginetta driver at the moment, as well as forays into Brit car and touring car and all sorts of stuff. So Colin White is a huge fan of these big V8 cars. And look at this, he's into the lead already. It is Colin White that's leading the way. And here we see the Camso cars beginning to get on terms with those former AS cars. The likes of Gary Ellis and Xavier van der Meersch, who are right up there in the championship table, beginning to close the gap. But it is Colin White from Keith Wally, 78, leads car number 88. And then we see Paul Bowman, who's into this Lydden Hill round. There's Bertrand Zor in car number 71, currently down there in 10th and 11th places. But it is 78, Colin White, that is leading the way around this oval that forms part of the Lydden Hill race circuit. And it is the European late models' first venture into the UK shores. Battle there going on between Tractor Boy and Tony Hurdle. That's 99 and 98. They are very much side by side. And Kurt Dujardin, the all-black car number 2, right on their back bumper as well. And then around the outside, look at that, goes Gary Ellis. Takes to a little bit of lawn mowing duties, but gets it back onto the tarmac. And Gary Ellis is being hounded by the series returnee in the all-green car, 77, Tony Roots as well. So this is a tight pack back there. These for 4th, 5th, 6th places. This is absolutely magnificent stuff from this European late model series. And look at this charge from the yellow car. Gary Ellis around the outside of Tractor Boy and Tony Hurdle. Xavier van der Meersch in car number 19, as we see Paul Bowman in car number 39. That brings out the yellow flags. We saw Paul Bowman get it badly wrong, and Kurt Dujardin has gone as well. So instructions, of course, from the race director, because he has plumbed into the crash helmet via a race-receiver system to each and every one of these drivers, so he can pass on the crucial information. Paul Bowman gets himself round, and this is where it went wrong for Paul Bowman then. Just a little bit of oversteer, too much oversteer, couldn't control it. That spun him around. Gary Ellis dives in to miss him. So does Xavier van der Meersch. But in the ensuing melee, Kurt Dujardin got caught out. So we go back to green again. And it is Colin White once again leading them away. But right now, Colin White and Keith Wally have got Gary Ellis in car number 95 right on their back bumper. Gary Ellis is third. Tractor Boy Lee Maddox showing well here at Lydden Hill, currently 6th place for him. He's got Xavier van der Meers on his inside. Jean Vasseur is going through as well. And there we see Bertrand Zor in car number 71, but this is your race leader. It's Colin White, who's now coming under some pressure from 95. Gary Ellis, the yellow and red V8 racing machine, powering its way around Lydden Hill. So it's experience with Colin White right at the front in what is his former SCSA ASCAR. Xavier van der Meers getting very sideways as he dives up the inside to gain another place, and that puts him through into 4th position as Gary Ellis now takes a dive up the outside of Colin White and absolutely drives around him. Amazing stuff from Gary Ellis in car number 95. Phenomenal turn of speed all the way around the outside of Colin White, as if he wasn't there. Incredible stuff indeed. Colin White tries to fight back, but Gary really had got the line and used it to absolute perfection, and that's propelled him right up to leading this race. So it's 95 Gary Ellis from 78 Colin White. Then we see Xavier van der Meers, and then it's 88 Keith Wally. So Gary Ellis then absolutely loving this. So race director tells us a car number 34, the Winston Graham car, is out of harm's way. So the track's still free. The waved yellow indicates that there is a car there, but it's and Gary Ellis locks up, and disaster for Gary Ellis, just cooks it too hard. Colin White glances it, and Xavier van der Meers goes in as well. So yellow, yellow, yellow. Let's see that again. Gary Ellis just too hard into that. He locks up, frantically turns the wheel to the right hand side. Colin White just glances the tyres on oversteer, and then Xavier van der Meers, Bosch, in there to join the party as well. What a disaster for these front running cars. Hopefully Colin White seems to have got away unscathed. It's more than could be said for Gary Ellis and also for Xavier van der Meers. Xavier's car looks like it's the one that took the most damage.
Okay, perfect. So, gentlemen, the race is finished. 07 is the winner.
So the red flag is out there and the race is declared, and that means Jean Vasseur takes 1st place, Colin White 2nd, Keith Wally 3rd, Tony Hurdle, good result for him in 4th, fantastic result for Lee Maddox 5th, then it's Kurt Dujardin, Jos Janssen and Vincent Lehouk. So Jean Vasseur, victorious, race 1 here at Lydden Hill. From a driver's eye perspective, what was going on in front of you?
I didn't really see what was going on because I was catching Colin and Keith, and suddenly I see Xavier going in the tyres and didn't really know what happened.
Now Colin White, of course, fierce competitor, but you had the measure.
Yeah, but he spun and I took the opportunity to overtake him and before the yellow was called, so that's why I take the 1st place.
Well, after a frantic first race, an awful lot of work to be done by the race teams to get those cars back in order to be back out on track for race 2. Wim Moonen then posies over his engine. So joining the European Late Model Series at Lydden Hill, notorious driver, notorious for all the right reasons, Colin White, welcome.
Hi.
Now, of course, many people know you from National Hot Rod Racing, Group A Hot Rod Racing before that, National Hot Rod multi-world champion, ASCARs of course, dabbled with Brit car, touring car, and now in the, what do they call the old Duffers Championship in Ginetta? Got Chairman's Cup, isn't
Chairman's Cup, yeah, I'm winning the Chairman's Cup for the moment, yes, the over 21 grade, you know.
So, I know you in the background, whilst this is the first showing for you in the European Late Model Series, I know you've been very supportive of the development of it, and this is your first time out in it, and I know you've been sort of itching to get out there, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right. We've always wanted to sort of join the two series together, the ASCAR and the Cosmos, put them together and see what they handle like. We've done it many moons ago, about 4 or 5 years ago, at Mallory Park, and we knew then it was going to be very competitive, and we wanted to try and keep the short oval racing series running, and by joining together it gives us double the amount of cars and it'll be a good series. And I'm unable to sort of do all the series up to now, all the rounds, but now, you know, opportunities here today and tomorrow and later in the year. I think another one in August I can do, and we're going to do one at Hennisford, so it'll be good.
Well, the racing here at Lydden Hill has been as action-packed as we expected. And that action will continue with our next race after this break. Welcome back. It's the European Late Model Series racing here at Lydden Hill. So a lot of work going on, and look at that sheet metal going onto the Xavier Van der Misch car, the door and the wing all one piece. Gary Ellis's car looks back with lots of yellow gaffer tape holding it together, and look at that, Xavier Van der Misch back out on track, so showboating sideways as always. Formation now, and our race director.
Perfect in position, everyone the same speed, please.
He's happy, we're happy. We get the greens, and once again we go racing in his heat 2. It's 66 Vincent Lee Hook who's leading the way as we go on board with Gary Ellis. So race 2, lap 1, we are underway and racing alongside Kurt Dujardin now. This is Gary Ellis taking the wide outside line. Kurt Dujardin, we're way back down on the grid, but Kurt Dujardin has got the inside line and Gary Ellis has got it wrong. My goodness me, almost a carbon copy of what happened in race 1, and Xavier is there as well. Look at that, it's almost a mirror image of the crash in Heat 1, and that was literally lap 1. My goodness me. So Gary Ellis out, he's perfectly okay. Of course, these cars hugely strong. Xavier, well, from what we can see, his car looks okay. I suspect it looks a bit different the other side. No, he's fine. He's getting back in the car, and he's going to go again. I suspect that Gary Ellis is not going to do that. Indeed, a lot of panel work damage at the front there. But again, the strength of these cars means that probably it is only superficial damage. They're remarkable. Just a radiator probably punctured in Gary Ellis's car. But look at that. A little bit of flapping sheet metal at the back of Xavier's car. But he's going to be back in this race. So it is race 2. We get the green. And once again, we go racing. And we're on lap 1 as Wim Moonen locks up and gets a little bit sideways. He's back down there in 6th place. But it is Vincent that's leading in the orange car. Then we see Wim Moonen, the all-yellow 73 car. Alongside him is Josh Janssen in the matte black machine. But it's Vincent Lehook that's leading. Then we see car number 98. Then it's Keith Wally occupying 1, 2, 3, 4. Wim Moonen is in the all-yellow car. But this leading the race at Lydden Hill, leading race 2. It's Vincent Lehook. Wim Moonen looking very, very strong indeed. So it's a real international field with Belgian, French, Dutch and English drivers all contesting this European late model series. It truly is European. And Colin White again taking a huge charge around the outside of Wim Moonen and making it work. There's Tony Roots in the all green machine. There's Xavier Van der Misch, complete with flapping panel work. But he's still doing okay. He's still in there and racing. Okay, Colin White goes again. My goodness me, it's like a magnet, that tyre wall.
Gentlemen, yellow, trouble in turn 1. Trouble in turn 1. Slow down.
So uniquely, we're able to get all the instructions from the race director, so we're aware of all the yellow flags. And this is where it goes wrong for Colin White then. Just cooks it going into that left-hander, can't hold it, desperately tries to get the car sideways to absorb the impact, doesn't quite do it, it's into the corner. So Vincent Lehook then has got it to do all over again. Alongside him, Tony Hurdle in car number 98. Then we see 88 Keith Wally, and there is Wim Moonen in car number 73, the Dutch driver Wim Moonen, former Lightning Rod champion. As once again we get the greens and we go racing the European Late Model Series race 2 of round 6 here at Lydden Hill Raceway. So the early laps have been fraught with activity, fraught with drama and fraught with action. And let's get down to the serious racing now. Kurt Dujardin in car number 2 making a huge dive around the outside as Wim Moonen looks up the inside of Tony Hurdle. So 98 there being hounded by both 73 and car number 2, and now Jean Vasseur, the Frenchman, in 07 coming in to join the party as well as they go side by side and sandwich Tony Hurdle in the middle. Remarkable stuff, though Wim Moonen didn't carry quite enough speed into that and couldn't make the move count, but he jolly well will this time into the left-hander. He's got the inside line, he's got 07 Jean Vasseur right behind him, and Tony Hurdle can do nothing but watch him come by the inside. Vincent LeHook leads in 66. Then it's Kurt Dujardin in the matte black number 2 car driving for Raptor Racing. Recently raced an Aston at the Spa 24 hours, so he's full of racing experience, and I tell you what, as a racing driver, he's full of enthusiasm for this European Late Model Series, as indeed all the matte black Raptor Racing cars are, as Wim Moonen has gone round in car 73. So once again we get yellows, we get flames out of the back of Kurt Dujardin's car number 2. This is where it went wrong for Wim Moonen. Gets the back out, cannot hold it. Jean Vasseur takes evasive action and only just misses Wim Moonen, who puts it into a spin and to the safety of the grass. Wow, race 2, what a race it's been. And we get the greens again, and once again Vincent LeHook has got it all to do. And he's got Kurt Dujardin on his outside, and he's got Jean Vasseur right behind him. However, he's a cool customer, and he will make these drivers work for it, and work they're going to have to do. But Kurt Dujardin is looking pretty strong, but Jean Vasseur is trying to find a way up the inside. It's 66, 2 and 0-7. Then we see Keith Wally in 4th place. And Wim Moonen back in again, right at the back of the grid. But here, Kurt Dujardin takes a move on 66. And we're into the last lap, and on the last lap, Kurt Dujardin goes through. A remarkable overtaking manoeuvre, which he managed to get to stick. So Dujardin surely is going to take the checkers. Indeed he does, from Jean Vasseur, Vincent LeHook, and then Tony Roots. Did he just get past Keith Wally at the line? Checkered flag is waved, and wow, what a race.
Lydden Hill is beautiful. First of all, we have a little bit more speed than in Warneton. Secondly, the scenery is marvelous. Third, I like so much to come and see here the English people and meet with the English people. They are really the big race lovers of the world. And as a matter of fact, this race was beautiful, was a good race. But the two protagonists, the two men I have to take, they were not anymore there because they slipped away. So it was not so difficult.
So Kurt Dujardin then taking the win and delighted with his sunglasses on. Jean Vasseur 2nd, Vincent LeHook 3rd. Tony Roots then did take 4th from Keith Wally, Tony Hurdle, Winston Graham and Jos Janssen. As we get the greens then for the feature final, 25 hot rocking laps around the Lydden Hill Raceway. And look at this, Tractor Boy is in the lead. Amazing stuff. Lee Maddox then leads them away from Keith Wally. Then it's Paul Bowman. Then we see Tony Hurdle and Bertrand Zor currently back down there in 5th place. So Lee Maddox then, the Tractor Boy, the East Anglian farmer lad, is leading this race in the European Late Model Series. Coming under some pressure from the all-red car of Keith Wally, though, in car number 88 right now. With 25 laps, as Keith Wally gets very sideways but manages to dial it back in and hold on to it. So Lee Maddox then, amazing stuff, and probably this is the first time he's driven on a race circuit in the UK. Of course, he's been in 2 or 3 of the rounds at Warnerton, but here he is in his home country, not quite his home county, but he is leading this feature final. But Jean Vasseur in 07 is up into 3rd place already. Now he is the one that we have got to watch, 07 here. Surely he gets up the inside of Keith Wally, or does he? No, Keith Wally shuts the door and says, no, you go around the long way, my friend. So it's 99 from 88 and 07. And Jean desperately looking to find a way past Keith Wally, who, it has to be said, is making it very wide. So 99, 88, 07, the 1, 2, 3, and at last Jean Vasseur manages to get an outside line. So right alongside, and he drives past Keith Wally now, so that puts him into 2nd place, or does it? Keith Wally fights back, but no, he's through. And it's now Tractor Boy that he's got to get on terms with. He's right alongside him, again taking the wide and longer outside line. Around this, as Tractor Boy goes a bit wide, Keith Wally spins, and Jean Vasseur goes through. So Keith Wally has spun himself out into... spins himself out into safety. And as we can see here, just a little bit too much, and he couldn't hold it all together. So Off onto the grass he goes, and whilst that happens, Jean Vasseur goes through, and Winston Graham doing remarkably well up into 4th place as well. So this is our race leader, 07 Jean Vasseur, who's now got the back marking 88 Keith Wally. And he gets past him without a problem at all. 07 Jean Vasseur then. As we see Jos Janssen in treble 2 off. Now, thankfully, Jos Janssen had managed to avoid the wall and just kept it on the rough stuff. Tony Roots there in car number 77. As all these drivers come through, Wim Moonen, Tony Hurdle in 98, and Colin White once again in the all-green 78 machine. So this is Wim Moonen then versus Tony Hurdle's former Ascot, and Wim Moonen goes through on the inside. Colin White looks to be following as well. And a great show from Tony Roots there in car number 77. But there's our race leader, 07 Jean Vasseur, the Frenchman. And there is Kurt Dujardin reeling in Tony Roots in car 77, Xavier Van der Misch, Vincent Lehoc. This is back down in 6th, 7th and 8th places. And at the moment, Tony Roots is having to defend hard from Kurt Dujardin, of course, is on a high from his earlier race win. Sky high, in fact, as he just drives around Tony Roots in car number 77. Remarkable stuff from Kurt Dujardin. Remarkable, though, nonetheless, that Tony Roots is racing, given the health issues he's had this year, but he's recovered from those and is back out there doing exactly what he loves, and that's racing these fantastic V8 motor cars. Paul Bowman in car number 39 is about to come under pressure from that very man, 77 Tony Roots in the all-green machine. The South Londoner, who's been involved in oval racing for more years than he'd probably care to mention. In car number 77, Wim Moonen there in car number 73. And that is Wim Moonen, former Lightning Rod star, and this is 07 Jean Vasseur, and overtaking what is the back mark in Xavier Van der Misch, which is highly unusual, but Xavier Van der Misch's car cannot be handling as he would like after the forays into the tyres that Xavier has been through. 07 Jean Vasseur is that leads. Oh, and bad news for Lee Maddox, the tractor boy. He's off onto the rough stuff. He had done so very, very well. 07 Jean Vasseur leads.
1 lap to go now.
And Roland van der Meers tells us just 1 lap to go. There's Winston Graham in car number 34, being hounded by number 2, Kurt Dujardin. The feature final over 25 laps here at Lydden Hill, about to reach a conclusion. And it will be a strong conclusion for the 2007 champion, Jean Vasseur. Checkered flag goes. And there he is, 07 Jean Vasseur, one of the smartest European late model cars out there. Reason for that is actually a spray painter, so you would expect him to do that. The Fast Frog dominates again, but dominates in the UK. Now, given all the action, all the incident we've had here in the heats, Jean Vasseur, we expected the final to be full of drama and accidents and spinning off and what have you, but actually flag to flag.
Yeah, it's good to be racing without accident as well. And yeah, Gary and Xavier didn't have look here today. That's racing.
So here we go then with the race results. Jean Vasseur taking the win. Winston Graham, brilliant second place for him. Kurt Dujardin again on the podium with 3rd. Tony Roots 4th. Wim Moonen 5th. Tony Hurdle 6th. Vincent Lehoc 7th. And that means the championship is led now by Xavier Van der Misch with Gary Ellis 2nd. However, Jean Vasseur is catching them up in 3rd, and Wim Moonen is currently 4th. An absolutely remarkable feature final. 25 laps, flag to flag for the European Late Model Series. Unbelievably, no drama, no incident, just non-stop racing all the way through that feature final. Great stuff indeed, and well done to Jean Vasseur, the eventual victor in that final. There's much more action to come from the European Late Model Series very soon.